Good morning, traders and investors. My name is Shen Mongangi, one of the best market analysts here at HFM. HFM is a multi-winning awarded broker that provides for you as a trader and investor the best trading opportunities. So coming on today is on a Tuesday, the May of 13th, and we have the CPI coming out today, the Core Purchasing Index. What does this mean? This means that if the behavior of the consumer to purchase goods has increased, it means the economy of the US is actually doing good. But if it has reduced, the economy of the US is flopping. So if we get a better than expected figure on the CPI today, we might be bullish on the dollar. But if we get a negative figure on the CPI, we might be bearish on the dollar. Also take note that our previous NFP, we had a better than expected report. Our PPI, we had a better than expected report, which brought in the bullish momentum on the dollar. Also, we had the interest rates being held at a hold. We never received the cut that we were expecting, which also made the dollar remain bullish. Also, other bullish news for the dollar is that yesterday, during the weekend, and also yesterday, we saw China and the US agreeing on some trade talks, and this was great news for the dollar. This greatly also impacted our charts. Coming on to our charts, first thing you can look at is the dollar. You can see how we moved higher yesterday just because of the truce that happened yesterday between China and the US, and we had a move higher on the dollar, which is good news for the dollar. We had some previous consolidation. This was during the 90-day pause and also the uncertainty between whether China and the US are going to come on a trade deal. And when they came for a trade deal, we had a move higher, and we approached our resistance zone at 101.79. And if the CPI comes out better than expected, we might again get a move higher all the way to our resistance zone at 103.13. Also coming on to our gold. Something interesting about gold we saw yesterday was that we opened with a big gap. In opening with that big gap, we had a move down, because also we know that as the dollar strengthens, the gold remains to be bearish, because it's no longer regarded as a safe haven, because investors right now are moving to the dollar as they want to maximize their profits on the currencies. We can see right now we are approaching our support zone at 3236.39. Again, if we get a better than expected news on the CPI, that means we will be bullish on the dollar, and if you're bullish on the dollar, it means we are bearish on the gold. Our key zones that we'll be looking at is 3236.39 and 3142.18, and for a further move at 2953.50. But if you get a negative news on the CPI, we'll be looking at 3430.42 for a move higher. Coming also to our US 500. US 500, we are in a risk on mode. We opened with a huge gap again on Monday after the weekend, where the truce between China and US happened. This was again positive for the US economy, and we saw stocks rising, including our Nasdaq, US 100, our top tech stocks, and also US 30, we saw a gap higher. So our key levels of interest that we'll be looking at on US 500, coming onto the daily chart, we have already approached our resistance zone that we had marked earlier last week at 5836.05. Again, if we get good news on the CPI, we might move higher to 60.36.00. That's a key psychological level. But if we get a bearish news again on the CPI, we might have a pullback, having to fill this gap and then move all the way to our previous support zone at 55.40. The same with US 100. We have approached our resistance zone and we have passed through it. Now, again, if we get good news again from the CPI, we'll be aiming for a move higher to our zone at 21,284.15. But if we get negative news on CPI again, that's bearish on our stocks. The same has been happening also on US 30, having it gap higher with a gap during the weekend, and having it also target our key resistance zone at 42,655.81. Coming on to our Euro USD, which is our forex pair, we can see also because of the truce that happened, which was our major news, we came to our previous support zone, we broke it, and we're targeting lower, aiming at 1.09415. Again, now for our currency pairs, it will be different from the stocks. If you get good news on CPI, we are bearish on Euro USD. And if you get bad news on the CPI, meaning a negative figure, we are bullish on the euro. Why is this? Because if the USD strengthens, euro tends to weaken, and if the USD weakens, euro tends to strengthen, because we are looking at the strength. It's a tug of war between euro and USD. The same has been happening also at GBP USD, where the dollar economy has been getting stronger, and the London decided to cut rates. So also cutting rates makes the London pair, the JPP, to weaken, because if we cut interest rates, it means the purchasing power has if we cut interest rate, it means that the investors are no longer interested with a country with lower interest rates, because as they invest, they're targeting to maximize profits, and if you're maximizing profits, we are aiming to look at currencies that have higher interest rates. So because of the cut, number one, we got the move down, and also because of USD getting stronger, we had that move down, breaking our support zone at 1.32649, targeting our next support zone at 1.31133. And for our investors who love to trade the JPY pair, last week we saw that the JPY was reacting mainly at the 140 level, where we had 1, 2, 3 touches of late, and we moved higher, targeting also our resistance zone that we had marked last week at 147.843. And again, if we get good news on the CPI, since USD here is a base currency, we will move higher. But if we get a negative figure on the CPI, we will move down, because consider this one, we have USD as the base currency. So when we started, we have mentioned something. We have mentioned the CPI. So today, what we're focusing on is the CPI that will be announced during our New York session. So have a keen eye to look at it on the CPI, and if you're trading, make sure that you use good risk management and you have mastered your psychology when you're entering the markets to avoid making unnecessary errors. So with that said, my name is Shen Mongangi, one of the best market analysts here at HFM. HFM is a multi-winning awarded broker that provides for you as a trader and investor the best trading opportunities and platform. Make sure that you go to our YouTube channel, hit the like, subscribe, and share button, and don't forget to comment. Why? Because this will help us improve our algorithm and to create better videos for you as a trader and investor. investing. Sorry about my video. There was some bit of malfunction on my side. Tomorrow I will be sharing my video and you'll be able to see your market analyst. So with that said, goodbye and see you tomorrow, same day, same time, here at our daily morning market call. Goodbye.